Hello and welcome to Read Aloud 3, where it is you, me, and the Trinity. And today we are reading this in the second book of Chronicles, chapter 16. Final years of Asa's reign. In the 36th year of Asa's reign, King Baasha of Israel invaded Judah and fortified Ramah in order to prevent anyone from entering or leaving King Asa's territory in Judah. Asa responded by removing the silver and gold from the treasuries of the temple of the Lord and the royal palace. He sent it to King Ben-Hadad of Aram, who was ruling in Damascus, along with this message: "Let there be a treaty between you and me, like the one between your father and my father. See, I'm sending you silver and gold. Break your treaty with King Baasha of Israel, so that he will leave me alone." Okay, so it's King Baasha of Israel is invading Judah, which is fortified Ramah in order to prevent anyone from entering or leaving King Asa's territory in Judah. Okay, not quite sure who's on the right side here. I'm not sure, okay? Let's keep reading. Ben-Hadad agreed to King Asa's request and sent the commanders of his army to attack the towns of Israel. They conquered the towns of Ajon, Dan, Abel, Beth Makkah, and all the store cities in Naphtali. As soon as Baasha of Israel heard what was happening, he abandoned his project of fortifying Ramah and stopped all work on it. Then King Asa called out all the men of Judah to carry away the building stones and timbers that Baasha had been using to fortify Ramah. Okay. Well, one thing that I heard that kind of lent to, like, who's on the right side here, it was like Asa responded by removing the silver and gold from the treasuries of the temple of the Lord and the royal palace. So that didn't sound like he was on the right side. So that's King Asa. Okay. But now in verse 6, he says, then King Asa called out all the men of Judah to carry away the building stones and timbers that Baasha had been using to fortify Ramah. So Baasha is fortifying Ramah in order to prevent anyone from entering or leaving King Asa's territory in Judah. Because it sounds like he's trying to hem them in. I'm not sure why, but maybe it's a protective strategy. So let's see. Let's keep it going. Asa used these materials to fortify the towns of Geba and Mizpah. At that time, Hanani, the seer, came to King Asa and told him, "Because you have put your trust in the king of Aram instead of in the Lord your God." This is King Asa going to, Hanani going to King Asa. And it started the chapter talking about how it's in during King Asa's reign, but it's King Baasha of Israel who invaded Judah. And then it was their response. Asa responded by removing the silver and the gold from the treasuries of the temple of the Lord. So I think we've nailed who is not on the right side here. And now the seer is coming and telling him exactly what we're questioning. He says he put his trust in the king of Aram instead of in the Lord his God. You missed your chance to destroy the army of King Aram. Don't you remember what happened to the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and their vast army with all their chariots and charioteers? At that time you rebelled. At that time you relied on the Lord, and he handed them over to you. very different from rebelling. The eyes of the Lord search the whole earth in order to strengthen those whose hearts are fully committed to him. What a fool you have been. Oh, wow. Striking hard. I mean, it's striking to the heart, right? From now on, you will be at war. Wow. He so decisively said, you had your trust in the right place. And that was why God was able to, he says that at that time you relied on the Lord and he handed them over to you. And then I love this verse 9. The eyes of the Lord search the whole earth in order to strengthen those whose hearts are fully committed to him. And then he really, reprimanded King Asa. What a fool you have been. From now on, you will be at war. All right. Now to the next subtitle. It says, Summary of Asa's Reign. The rest of the events of Asa's reign. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. We missed a part. Verse 10. Asa became so angry with Hanani for saying this that he threw him into prison and put him in stocks. At that time, Asa also began to oppress some of his people. Let me see. Oppression likely stems from, in most or not all cases, right? The anger of not being able to, rely on yourself. It's not working. But, so you decide, okay, I'm going to force it and try and make myself feel powerful, I guess, and oppress others. All right, next verse is 11. Then this is a summary of Asa's reign. The rest of the events of Asa's reign from beginning to end are recorded in the book of the kings of Judah and Israel. In the 39th year of his reign, Asa developed a serious foot disease. Yet even with the severity of his disease, he did not seek the Lord's help, but turned only to his physicians. So he died in the 41st year of his reign. He was buried in the tomb. And first it was the 36th, so not too much later, about 5 years later. He was buried in the tomb he had carved out for himself in the city of David. He was laid on a bed perfumed with sweet spices and fragrant ointments, and the people built a huge funeral fire in his honor. Wow. And that's what he had, but he didn't have much because he still refused to ask for God's help, to rely on God as he had done before and found success. But instead, he wanted to rely on something else within what he felt was probably within his control. So this is something that I'm reading about in another book, in a book, not in the Bible, but it's, let me grab. It is, sorry, from a Christian writer. You may have heard of Dr. Larry Crabb, and he's also a psychologist. And this book is called Inside Out. It really deals with this topic of how we strategize to, allow ourselves to feel in control of things when we aren't. And just kind of how we have, because of the fall, we have lived that way, and we continue to, and until we address those things, those are sinful behaviors. Asa could have addressed that he had a seer come to him and tell him what was wrong, you know. But if we ignore them and kind of act like in different ways, act like that's not the problem, you know, sometimes we go too far into not that it's not the introspection that's bad, but the result of that introspection, we start to feel like, oh, you know, maybe it was because like we do the things we do, you know, obviously because of the hurts we've had, but not and the, you know, pain and that we're avoiding it, but it's the result of how we avoid it, how we strategize to not have those things happen to us again. And we do it in our, you know, again, we strategize, we try to control things, right? And those are the sinful behaviors. Instead of going to God for help, instead of relying on him. And this is what this chapter really talked about to me as well in the 16th chapter of Second Chronicles. That's what I came away with as it talked here about, you know, the summary of Asa's reign and what happened there. So what do you think? Please join in this discussion on any of these chapters that we're reading aloud together, or just join in and read aloud with me. I would love to have, you know, you to like and subscribe to the channel and to continue to read aloud, to hear the word, and to, you know, that's the best way to really put it into your heart, is to hear it. So let's continue to read aloud each day. I'll see you tomorrow.